A 19-month-old boy cries not from pain, but from fear. He knows how much it hurts when these people take his bandages off. He is petrified that they are going to hurt him again.
If it's going to hurt, we won't take it on.
7, Coleman needs his angel. And there he is.
Mack Secord can't stay out of the sky. After an aviation career in the Air Force, he's still in the air helping people getting to where they need to go as an Angel Flight pilot.
Angel Flight 35 Mike will be making a left turn out of traffic.
Mack Secord flies about 1 Angel Flight mission a month. He's been doing this for 25 years.
And Mack is very special. He was one of the original 15 pilots that founded this organization in 1983. He is an unsung hero in the city. Volunteering is Mack's job in his retirement, and he volunteers almost every day, literally 6 days a week, somewhere different.
It's because I can't think of very many other ways where you could indulge in your passion, which is flying, and at the same time give somebody a hand up that needs some help.
But Mack didn't start out loving airplanes.
Ironically, growing up, I was a railroad buff, and my ambition until the mid to late teens was to be a railroad engineer. I joined the Alabama Air National Guard in Birmingham, and I got to be friends with some of the pilots in this squadron. They would occasionally ask me if I'd want to go along on a training flight with them, and that sort of lit the fire and turned me away from railroads into airplanes.
After graduating from the University of Alabama, he joined the Air Force and began his aviation career, which took him on several trips to Korea and Vietnam. He spent his tours first as a forward air controller, and then flying the C-130.
And the third tour, I tell people I was flying an LMD, and most people never heard of an LMD. That's a large mahogany desk. Because I was lieutenant colonel by that time, I was in a staff position.
But Mack wanted to stay in the air and applied to fly the C-130 in the Southeast. He was soon posted to Pope Air Force Base in North Carolina, flying long rotations around the world.
Well, we were on one of these 90-day rotations to France, and about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we were launched off to a Belgian Air Force base called Kleine-Brogel. There we picked up about 500 Belgian paracommandos.
Paracommandos headed to Congo. At this point in the Civil War, Simba rebel guerrillas had taken hostage hundreds of missionaries in the town of Stanleyville. In a combined effort, the U.S. and Belgium launched Operation Dragon Rouge to rescue the hostages with Belgian paratroopers and American air support.
I was tail end Charlie. I was the last one to get there. And my orders were to land, turn around in the parking area, but keep engines running.
While they waited on the runway for their passengers, the Belgian commandos and the rescued hostages were marching on foot back to the airfield, being harried by Simba resistance.
About the time we were ready to shut down, there was no fuel available there. Here come the hostages. Men, women, children came on board, and finally the loadmaster said, "I think we've got about all we can carry." And I said, "Well, how many have you got?" And he said, "I don't know. I kind of lost count after 100.
While taxiing to take off, guerrillas hiding in the tall grass by the runway fired into the wings of the passing C-130, putting holes in one of the fuel tanks.
I asked the engineer to go back and take a look, and he came back shaking his head and said, "Yep, we're losing a lot of fuel, and it's right next to the exhaust for the number 3 engine." He said, if it catches fire, we're done for." He said, I would suggest that we shut down number 3 engine. I said, "I'm with you." We shut the engine down.
Running on 3 out of 4 engines, And low on fuel, Mack made it to Leopoldville 3 hours later.
We asked him how much fuel he had left when he landed, and he said, well, not enough to start a barbecue.
For that flight, Mack received the Distinguished Flying Cross, and his unit received the prestigious Mackay Trophy for the most meritorious flight of the year 1964. That C-130 has since been moved to the Aviation Museum at Warner Robins. 50 years later, Mack gets a call from Marilyn Wendler, one of the passengers from Stanleyville. Marilyn, who was 11 years old at the time, had reconnected with other former hostages. They soon found their plane and their pilot, Mack Secord.
And we're like, whoa, we've got to find out, who he is and how to get a hold of him and meet him.
And she said, the main reason for my call is that 6 of us are going to be at the museum at Warner Robins on Friday. Now, this was Tuesday night. And she said, do you think you might be able to join us for lunch or something? I said, lady, if I have to walk to Macon, I will be there.
In 2008, Mack won the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award for over 50 years of incident-free flying. Through his career, his anchor has been his family.
Mack is a wonderful family man. He's been married forever, I think, to his wonderful, lovely wife, Lori, who stands by his side with her beautiful smile.
I've been awfully lucky, as my minister used to say, you out-married yourself. We just observed our 57th anniversary.
Mack and his wife Lori have 1 daughter and 3 grandchildren.
Mack's grandchildren are the light of his world.
On the ground or in the air, Mack Secord is a hero to the people he helps and continues to touch lives every day.
When I was 11 years old, I and my parents and many other friends were all flown to safety by Mack Secord. Without his help, we would not have survived that day.
That one very important day when Mack saved over 100 people's lives in the Congo was incredible. But since that day, he's helped thousands of families live through his everyday service through Angel Flight and his airplane.
I've had the opportunity to fly high during my career, both in the Air Force and in Angel Flight, because of the various teams that I've been able to work with and depend on, and for that I'll be eternally grateful.
Thousands of people have lived better lives thanks to Mack's dedication to helping people. He's an angel.